kids have to go to this school because I can't afford it. Ship them to a private school. Yeah. You know, real is I didn't get into city, poly, Western. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's real. Yeah. You know, then those people have a different perspective. I support public education. Now, what about those other schools? You know, what about those parents? You know, and so that's kind of what, you know, I'm noticing. You notice that, Troy? Kind of theory versus reality. Guns.
I do get where you're coming.
Talk to guns issue. People buy guns off the street. They don't really buy them at the store. So that's the real part.
But how do you get people to change their, you know, dealing with those issues? It's kind of like you know, it's the reality, because you don't have people changing their viewpoint on the way things should be. People should feel a desire to step up and say that there's something going wrong in their community.
Well, let's reverse it. Like I say, what's first, the chicken or the egg? A community should feel safe. Mm-hmm. So if we say, okay, let's start with that. If the community trusts law enforcement, as most communities that pay more taxes do, then their view of law enforcement is different. In my neighborhood, if somebody broke out my car window, oh, it's going to be a problem. I'm talking about this is what is going on. This cannot happen in my neighborhood.
Right.
Now, some neighborhoods, I can go outside right now and break a window out, and it won't be dealt with ever. Right. So if you know, that becomes now, why is that the case? Why is that the case?
Oh, Mark, I wish we had more time.
Education the same way. My school district that we live in, my kids can go to those schools. They're the finest schools in the country.
But you're talking about socio-political, socio-economic issues.
It's always that.
It is, but we can't. I don't think we have enough time to address that. There is enough brain matter here in the room to do it. But I mean, you know, there's a gray area when you deal with all of them.
Okay, here's a question for you. You're on the jury, okay? Let's say that, in fact, because you're from Baltimore and you know the Black Guerrilla family and you know how they do, and the police weren't tapping the phones, you're sitting in the jury, the crew comes in, five people come in, 10 people come in, and look at you. Troy Johnson went to high school together, I know who you are. If you convict Lance, you're gonna die or your family's gonna die. Now, from the integrity of your integrity,
what would I do?
Yes.
I would. I need some police protection, but I'm not
okay.
going. I'm going to tell the truth.
Okay.
Understand.
I know it's a great theory. Understand it, but understand you could die.
But see, that's you know.
And it's not.
You're right.
It's not a theory. It's not like one of those things where you go, do you know anybody else who died? Yes, I do. Right. I went to school then.
But that is where, you know, that's where I have to believe people have to assess in their heart what's the right thing to do. Now, I have no control over the next person who's like, I am intimidated.
Yeah.
And my family is in jeopardy, and it's too bad for this other family that lost their family member. Hey, I had nothing to do with that. I just got to take care of me and mine. That kind of attitude is a real attitude that people have. Some people have, but there's a cost for that.
Yeah.
There's a cost that you have to pay. You don't walk away scot-free and clear, feeling like you've done everything you can do just for your family, because there's a larger community out there. Yeah. Now, which one ends up at the top of the food chain is debatable. You know, there are a lot of people that do great things for communities, and you know, can't do something for their family. I mean, so there's a gray area there. Me, I want the truth to proceed.
I'll say this. I'll say, looking at that situation, I don't know. Something I wouldn't have said in the past.
Well, you know what?
In the past, I would have said, I'll do the right thing.
But
now
at the same time, you're going to educate your kids to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. So are you doing the right thing?
I'm in a position to do the right thing. See, that's the thing. It goes back to money. Goes back to money. I'm going to say, my kids will never be in that situation.
You never know.
My kids will never be in that situation.
You never know. You never know.
Well, you haven't seen my trust fund.
Anyway, we've got other things to discuss. You can, of course, chime in as well. Troy and Mark here on the BaltimoreSun.com. a question from me, and we all know me, don't we? Me wants to know, and I quote, when y'all gonna be back on the radio?
Lord Jesus, we don't know.
Me, I don't have an answer for that.
That's me. That's actually my little me inside me.
Me asked a question. It was you. It was really,
yes.
We don't know what we are here. So you can check us out here every Wednesday, and then of course the blog. And Mark, remind me to get back to the blog. I want to discuss the blog.
Okay, definitely. Also, I had a TV show starting June 15th on My 24.
Yeah.
It's kind of like similar.
So the answer is we're not going to be on the radio. Maybe.
Maybe one day.
Okay, me?
Maybe worldwide.
Maybe.
We don't want to talk about that right now.
Big Fish asks a question. Big Fish chimes in quite often.
I like Big Fish.
When will the rain stop? Well, apparently Big Fish has mistaken me with Al Roker. Not Al Roker. The rain is going to rain here in the Baltimore metropolitan area tonight.
We need the rain though, Big Fish. You know that, you're a fish.
You know what? It's actually, we had a rain deficit in the area. We were like 2 or 3 inches.
We were pint low.
Low, but all the rain that we've had this week, we've made up the difference. So we're back on track. There's supposed to be some rain in the area tonight, probably tomorrow, but it's going to break off into a fabulous weekend.
Troy.
Barometric pressure is going to be, no, I'm just kidding.
Give it up for Troy Johnson, the old man. Troy actually knows weather.
Well, you know what, Mark?
Ladies, Troy knows weather now.
I know the weather, and
that means you get older.
I learned a long time ago that you dress for the day,
that is true.
not for the season.
Thank you, Troy, for that.
You know?
Oh, man.
Now,
man.
Nebo asked an interesting question. Is it wrong to bash the current morning show at our old radio station?
Well, wrong is probably wrong. Is it wrong? We don't bash as the former morning show. We don't bash it. I like Ricky Smiley. I think he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I think the bashing always can be, that word is sometimes thrown about. I think what happened, let's look at what happened. You went from a local morning show that was deeply involved in the community to a morning show that originates from somewhere else. But you know what, this is what I'll do. I think there's some key elements that make it kind of a bad fit. Number one, you know, people are smarting from not having that local connection. Number two,
and this is happening in a lot of
places. So it started off as Ricky Smiley and These Nuts, which when we were on the morning show, we met daily about what you can and cannot say on the show. They launched this as Ricky Smiley and These Nuts on multiple markets, and they finally changed the name because why? That's a stupid idea. Yeah. That's very offensive. How can an 8-year-old, and then how can the principal of the school, how can whoever come on to a show called something and These Nuts? Okay. The third thing is what I think is interesting, Troy, is it's a southern based show.
Yes, it is.
I mean, Baltimore is kind of more East Coast. DC is more country than Baltimore, in my opinion. Baltimore is like a little, you know, little dirty New York, Jersey kind of East side.
A little bit.
Versus the what's it called? Something baby soap, baby mix or something. I mean, it's just too southern, I think. And so I think it just wasn't the best fit. So I think that's why people bash it. Is it wrong or right? I mean, if you don't like it, write the radio station and tell them, and that may be able to get us back on. But it's just nobody writes.
I don't see that.
Just nobody writes it.
I don't know about the return. You know, prove me wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
That I see the return of
you're right.
That morning show.
Thanks, Troy.
Dream
crusher Troy Johnson.
No, I'm not trying. You know, I think it would be great. Would I love it? Yes. I think we enjoyed serving the community.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I don't know.
They said that one of the complaints from Howard Baser, our general manager back then, was that you and Marc sound too much alike. You guys are like the same guy. We need something different. I mean, like you and Troy are the same person.
Right. And
I was like, I don't think so.
We look so much alike.
We look alike.
And
our point of view, you know,
yeah,
we do. Now I will admit, many people have said that we do sound alike. I will say,
people
throughout
think
time,
we sound alike
we
because we can form complete sentences, and there's a lack of people on the radio that can actually do that. That's why we sound alike.
And actually, if you know, people who know us know me and Troy do come from a different point of view. Similar in that, like Troy said, we probably Midwest guys, kind of the same sensibilities to a lot of degree, but I think we're a little different, kind of, sort of, maybe not that much, maybe not. Maybe we do sound, maybe we do suck together. Maybe that's right.
I If that's the reason that we no longer do a morning show because we sound similar, I think that's
also
that's
another reason
lame.
was there was a phase where they were like, Marc won't let Troy talk. That was another reason the show. Marc won't let him talk. So then because of course I would siphon off his voice and tie his vocal cords off. But
because we sound so much alike, he didn't, what?
Maybe they didn't know sometimes we were talking.
I think that is the other thing. A lot of times, anything that was reasonably intelligent. No. So anyway, to answer your question, if you don't like the show, if you don't like the Ricky Smiley show, nothing against Ricky. The same thing.
No, we like Ricky.
Yeah, we do like Ricky.
Ricky took us to dinner. Who knew? In New Orleans.
Yeah, who knew? 2 years
later, dinner was going to be our careers would be over. We're going to buy them some snacks that they're going to be gone in a year.
But I think that we said the same thing when we were on the air. If there's something that you don't like, you gotta let somebody know about it and manage it.
Other than Big Mama too.
Yeah, and you can't call on the phone and think that that's gonna get it done. Yeah. You gotta write a letter and express yourself. And, I mean, come on.
Okay, pass is a pass. Where's my knife? I'm gonna kill myself.
Just to chime in, Rain Man on the end of this conversation says, "Can't you just keep doing this? Who needs radio?"
I like that, Rain Man.
Rain Man, I'm with you on that.
Rain Man.
Rain Man, good point.
Very good point. Very good point. Good point, Rain Man. Very good point.
All
Very
right.
good point, Rain Man.
We are, of course, on the BaltimoreSun.com. Let people know that live stream is every Wednesday, 12 noon. You can watch the recap on our blog, BaltimoreSun.com/Troy and Marc. And
that's technically Troy learned in radio, promoting.
You got to
see. He said we are on, which is reminding the people who are on it. That's kind of a radio thing.
That's right.
That's good.
But it works.
Where am I? What am I doing? I am on the sun.com.
If you watch the news or something like that, people know.
If we have a guest on, Troy will refer to who you're talking. We are talking with.
That's right.
Steve Sullivan of the Sun.
That's right. Yeah, Steve is in the background.
See, all this radio training, baby, it's 40 years.
That pays off in the long run.
That's right.
We're accomplished broadcasters.
That's what
whatever the medium might be.
Whatever, right.
Okay.
On the back of a hippopotamus in Africa, we can still broadcast, and we did.
That's right.
I miss radio. Okay.
No, you're not. Rhea Ra. Oh, let me say this also about the blog. We're going to switch over to a video blog scenario. So instead of us really writing a lot of posts, a lot of the posts are going to be video. And already kind of experimenting with that, trying to get my little camera skills together.
Don't misplace the wrong chip, Mr. Johnson.
That's right.
You single, virile man, you. We don't want to see all that on the blog.
That's right.
Or maybe
it won't be. It won't be. But so look for video blogging on our blog. Now, Rhea Robb says, with witness intimidation cases, in your opinion, why is there such an increase in cell phones smuggled into prisons?
Because I think, again, we have major, if you read the article about the Black Gorilla family and others, there's like a leak. We have a major problem. The infrastructure for all this is sadly a mess, because it seems as though if you have money, and people will tell you that, if you have money in prison, you can get whatever you want.
But it's got to get smuggled in.
Yeah.
I saw a story. I want to say either Tennessee or Georgia. I can't remember where the story. A young girl, got caught trying to smuggle in like $60, a cell phone, or she had something inside of her.
Not an Irva JJ, hopefully.
Inside of her,
wow.
and she got caught.
6 phones.
Not 6. $60.
Okay.
60 bones.
That's what. That's what I.
So
side note, I tell my kids that don't ever put money in your mouth, because in prison, they smuggle it in their butt. So that kind of keeps the kids away from that. So pretty soon it's gonna be the same thing with cell phones.
Yeah. So obviously people feel pretty comfortable that they can get things into a prison in the first place.
Well, there's holes in it, because in America people money. There's a gap we need to fill. I mean, the money, man. The money. This guard who's not making much money gets paid off by the bigwigs. That's been going on since the beginning of time. They didn't have stuff back then. Remember, it used to be a knife in the movies.
Yeah.
You should bake a cake and put the shank in it.
No,
now we got more.
It wasn't a knife, it was a file.
A file, remember that?
File through the bars.
Now we got more high tech, you know, we got video cameras now, phones, soap, I mean.
Well, maybe they need to return to the cake baking thing. You know.
Happy birthday! That cake just,
the cake rang.
It clanked together.
Yeah, so.
I think the system, come on now, we all got cousins who work as a guard in the prison. We can get anything in there.
Well, apparently, that's what the case is. Any thoughts on the H1N1, the 2009 H1N1 virus?
Well, I think the funny thing about point of view, or what do you want to say, context, is I know the Egyptian government wanted to kill all the pigs, right? They wanted to kill every pig.
That's ridiculous.
But the funny thing about it was, me being from the Midwest, what popped in my head was, hearing that a government wants to kill all the pigs is kind of sad. You're like, that's messed up.
That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard.
But the funny thing is, being from the Midwest, if they said in Illinois we're going to kill all the pigs for Bacon Fest, it'd be a celebration.
Well, people are going to eat they were slaughtering the pigs, not to eat them.
I'm just saying, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, we kill pigs every day. So what? If a million pigs got to die, so what? Who cares? They're pigs.
No. That's why.
Wait a minute, Troy. If you thought Egypt was funny, what about poor Afghanistan? They got one pig. The one pig in Afghanistan, for real, at the zoo,
they slaughtered.
They have confined, and they're probably gonna slaughter. I was thinking, one pig in the whole country. They got the pig at the zoo.
It's not easy. It's not easy sometimes.
So you thought, Troy, why is it asinine? They don't want to get the swine flu.
The swine flu is not. It's not conveyed that way. The swine flu is not conveyed.
It's conveyed by their breath. They're breathing on you. The swine.
No.
The swine flu's breathing on you. It's breathing on you.
See what happened? What happened here is there is again the gray area between letting people know what's going on when you have a serious situation.
Yes.
And too much hype. And when you have, first of all, now after the fact, let's call it the 2009 N1H1 virus. Now, if you were going to do any kind of global education, letting people know what we're dealing with as a potential pandemic, you might want to get the name right first. When you say swine flu, what's the first thing that you saw on any newscast?
It's like a pig.
Yeah, a pig or a bird. It's not. It doesn't convey that way.
Well, here's the problem, Troy. And please save this blog and remember what I'm going to say to you right now. Okay? The problem with this is this virus is more serious than they let us know.
Mark, but you know what? Let me interject.
Okay? It's more serious than they let us know, and we will find this out years from now.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Rhea Robb says it right here, and I know you can't see it on the screen. The main issue with H1N1, people don't wash their hands. Doesn't have anything to do with the pig. Wash your damn hands.
Let me just say this, because I didn't want to say it. Okay? This virus was created in a lab, like many viruses have been created. This virus is aimed at America, and it's the first of many chemical viruses, Troy, that will be attacking us in the near future. Didn't want to ruin your day, but this is what's going on.
Now, why do you say that?
AIDS was a virus. The Monet green monkey virus created in the 60s. And these viruses, Troy, we are at war with these viruses. The American public doesn't know about it because they would freak out like they're freaking out now. But unfortunately, this is going to be our new world. Okay?
You don't really believe that, dude.
I'm just saying.
He's crazy.
I'm telling you, I have from an inside person who got the call when this virus first broke, the news first broke. He said the last time he got this call was when the 9/11. He said, warfare. That's all.
He said it's biological warfare.
Biological warfare, okay?
Well,
BW.
I tell you what, Well, you know, BW, go in the bathroom and wash your hands, and we would have these problems. You know?
You think it's really that simple, Troy Johnson?
Mark,
you know how many viruses are out there? You know, all of a sudden this one, you know, wash your hands.
Pandemic.
How many times? Raise your hand if you're watching. There are people out there that never wash their hands. You see them in the bathroom all the time.
Yes.
They don't ever get sick.
Right.
So what's up with that? Well, they don't get colds.
But
you see guys, Troy. You go in the bathroom.
We all
they go in the big room and come out. And you're at the sink. You're at the sink, and they just walk on back out to Red Lobster and eat their food. Never sick.
Well, you know, because there are some viruses, Mark, that your body can actually naturally attack. The red and white blood cells, we all remember that from biology. You know, your body can stave off certain infections and viruses. But a new strain...
And some people's bodies can stave off this.
A new strain introduced into the system can't be fought off.
Let me just say this. They don't really know. They don't know what they're talking
about.
Well, let me just say, the doctors have no idea what they're talking about. Okay?
They don't know? All right. I don't share that view. We may sound alike, but I don't agree with Mark.
When you go to the hospital, they have no idea.
Yes, they do.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yes, they do. Yes, I disagree with that. And my mother, who is a registered nurse, will have words.
Nurses will tell you they don't know what they're talking about.
No.
We have no idea.
You know, I'm going to have my mom call you.
Okay.
Because you're tripping right now.
I understand. There are people who are with me out there.
Okay. Let's move on to something else. Brian is checking in with us. What is your professional advice for young adults who aren't currently in school pursuing degrees in journalism, communications, or broadcasting, given the state of ad-supported businesses today with the economy that we have?
Good question.
That is a good question.
Well, Troy, you want to start?
Yes. Become a doctor.
Work on the new virus.
That's right. Well, no, I think, you know, Mark and I have talked to many different students.
Yes, we've crushed the dreams of many.
We've taken this conversation on many different occasions.
Yes.
And, you know, I think people tend to forget that the media is like a lot of other industries. It's an industry. And it's dependent on some kind of revenue flowing in to allow these people to work the skills that they've acquired over many years. So that's not different from the auto industry. That's not different from the financial sector. That's not different from educational sector. You know, people that are good at what they do, they go, they work, and that's how we have an economy. The thing that, although there's a lot of gloom and doom, the thing that you have to do is be able to be versatile, be able to use all the technology that you have, that you're accessible to. Having a camera, being able to write and blog, being able to do on-camera stuff, being able to edit.
You can do that now.
You can do all of those things on your own blog and get the opportunity to not only voice your opinion, but basically work those skills so you're ready to go into the job market when there are jobs available.
Follow your passion.
In 2012.
Follow your passion. I always say follow your passion. If you want to do it, the blessing that this generation has is all the stuff that Troy mentioned you can do now without a degree, without training. Get your camera, get your blog, get your website, get your point of view up and rolling now because you can build that and make money off of it. The other thing is always work. If you're a great writer, if you're not a great writer, get your writing skills up. That's the main thing. If you're a great writer, you can always find a job no matter what new technology comes out or whatever. Strong writing will always find a field. And in fact, like I'm not a strong writer. Weak writing will keep you out of a field. Weak writing will, keep you out of the field.
And that goes beyond communication.
And also one-on-one communication, verbal communication.
You have to be able to communicate with people.
You be needing to be knowing how to be talking.
Okay.
Yo, son.
Bobby Gord in Atlanta.
What's up, baby?
She's checking us out in the ATL. Tell me why you should be back on the radio. We may know, but what are your views?
Because we need a check.
Beyond that.
Well, I'll go first, Troy.
Go ahead.
Why should we be back on the radio?
Why should you be on? Yes. Why should we be on the radio?
Like you say, the should part is interesting, and only people can determine that. But for me, you know, what we're doing right now, I think it needs to be on the radio, talking about relevant issues, pop culture, topics, things people want to know, connecting with the audience. And the main reason I wanted to be on the radio was to hopefully give people a positive perspective on life and encourage them that they can do all the dreams and things they want to do. That's why I want to be on the radio.
I mean, this is our life's work, you know, 20 years of media experience, and I think we should be on because there's a void. You know, I think from my own point of view and my own experience as an African American.
Oh, here go the African American card.
No, I'm going to say that there are not many voices like ours that are able to talk about a wide variety of topics other than Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Hey, don't hate.
Hate on beat. No, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that, you know, when there's an overabundance of African Americans in the media, and they seem to be kind of stuck in the entertainment-based area.
Not to say we wouldn't have entertainment.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Mark, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, people understand what I'm getting at. No, they don't. I'm just saying that, you know, we as a people talk about a wide variety of subjects, and we are in the greater conversation as well as our own conversation in our own community. And I want to be able to convey, and have enjoyed being able to convey in all of those arenas.
And Atlanta, it's ironic that you checked in with us because you never know, Atlanta. You never know. No. You never know. Okay, just saying.
All right. So thank you. Leroy. Or is it Leroy?
It's Leroy.
Leroy.
On the internet.
I think it's Leroy. Leroy says, what's going on? You have faces for radio. I guess he's implying that we have no business being in front of a camera, so forget you, Leroy.
Man, thanks for the love, Leroy.
Yeah, that's not love.
Don't forget, Marc Clarke show coming June 15th, July 24th.
Okay, Mark, before we get out of here, 2009 Preakness coming up here in Baltimore.
Oh, man.
Triple Crown.
Yes.
What's the name of the horse that won the Kentucky Derby?
Something about a bird.
Mind That Bird.
I love the jockey on that.
Mind That Bird is coming to town
Yep.
in 2 weeks for the Preakness. Will this be the last Preakness at Pimlico? Will Pimlico be, you know, is it going to become defunct? This is a race that's been around for 134 years. A lot of people that might be watching outside of Maryland don't know that we have a very strong horse racing tradition in this state, similar to Kentucky. But you know, if it's not, but if it's not the if it's not the big race, then you know it's kind of falls on the dormant side.
It's gonna be in a homeless shelter. But
so what do you think?
But still, I think you gotta have slots. I think you gotta have all that stuff out there. It needs to be a hedonistic thrill ride.
Well, you know,
that's what people want. That's what you know. That's what you want. You go out there.
I don't think it needs to be.
No, yes.
I'm not saying. Yes. I'm not saying that you don't have the gambling and all of those things.
That's what it needs to be.
Well, I mean, it can, but what I'm saying, it doesn't have to have that hedonistic. I mean, look at how Las Vegas has transformed.
Still hedonistic.
Yes, but what I'm saying is,
get your freak on. Is what I'm saying.
You can do all that, but Las Vegas doesn't have that old seedy. You know,
oh, it doesn't have to be seedy.
What I'm saying,
freaky don't have to be seedy.
Okay, all right, okay. Just
want you to know that.
Yes, I do,
Mr. Ty.
Don't let the tie fool you. All right, that's it. We got to get out of here, Mark. Wow, time flies.
Man, I got to make some room for something.
This is a conference.
Steve got a lunch break.
It's lunchtime. Make sure you check out the blog right here, BaltimoreSun.com/Troy and Mark. The live vlogging. We'll be vlogging, I should say.
Yeah.
Look for blog posts.
Daily.
We
got in trouble.
On the blog. Look for the blog posts. And there are some advertising opportunities available. Your logo could be here instead of, or somebody tell Steve Jobs I hooked him up because I'm using my laptop.
You know they ain't advertising.
I know. Somebody knows Steve. Tell him to holla at me. Okay? And we'll see you next week. And there's a replay of this. If you missed it, if you couldn't get on, you want to let somebody know about it, go to the blog.
And ask questions, we'll hit you back.
Later today, and you can check it out. All right? Everybody have a great week. We will see you next week right here at BaltimoreSun.com.